You've seen it before. She's laughing one moment and silent the next. You ask what's wrong, she says, I'm fine. But you know she's not. Here's the truth. You're not crazy. You're just using the wrong code. The male brain runs on logic. The female brain runs on connection. Her emotions aren't chaos. They're data. They tell you where she feels safe, where she feels doubt, and where she's testing your strength. Once you understand that, everything changes. Because she doesn't want your logic. She wants your certainty. And the man who leads with certainty never loses control. If you're truly ready to change your life, write in the comments, I'm ready to change. Let's begin. Here's the first truth you must understand. Men and women are built to process reality through different systems. Not better or worse, just different. Therefore, you must stop expecting her to think like you and start learning to read her nature instead of trying to correct it. Let's get something clear. This isn't about stereotypes or blame. It's about biology, psychology, and evolution. Men evolved to survive through logic, to hunt, plan, and act decisively. Your brain seeks order. Problem equals action. Action equals result. You want clarity, closure, resolution. But the female brain evolved to survive through connection. Thousands of years ago, her safety depended on sensing danger before it appeared, not through sight or strength, but through emotion, tone, and subtle social shifts. That's why she can sense when something is off in your mood before you've said a word. Why a single change in your tone, a pause too long, or a careless phrase can spark tension that feels invisible to you. Her brain doesn't read information in straight lines. It reads context. It connects dots you didn't even know were there. Let's set the scene. You're talking, and she suddenly goes silent. You ask what's wrong. She says nothing. You relax. And 10 minutes later, she's upset. To your logical mind, it feels irrational. But in her mind, it's perfectly consistent. She's not reacting to what you said. She's reacting to what she felt while you said it. The gap between your words and your energy triggered her instinct that something's unsafe, uncertain, or inconsistent. Now, most men panic in that moment. They try to fix her feelings like a broken machine, explaining, justifying, or arguing with logic. But emotions don't respond to logic. They respond to presence. If you stay calm, centered, and grounded, if your energy says, I'm not shaken, her emotional storm naturally starts to calm. Because the female brain isn't seeking perfection. It's scanning for stability. Machiavelli would have whispered this truth. Never resist the nature of a force. Align with it, and you control it. You can't dominate emotion with reason. You must hold your ground so that her emotion rebalances around your calm. Understand this. When you fight her feelings, you make her feel alone in them. When you stay centered, you make her feel safe inside them. That's the real difference between boys and men. A boy argues to be right. A man holds frame to bring peace. And once you master that, you stop being the guy who confuses her and become the man she instinctively trusts. Here's the second truth you must understand. Women don't process reality in straight lines. They feel in circles. Therefore, you must stop expecting every conversation, emotion, or reaction to have a clean beginning and end. Her mind isn't built for linear resolution. It's built for emotional navigation. Again, this isn't about criticism or cliché. It's about decoding how evolution sculpted two different forms of intelligence for survival. Men evolved to move through the world like hunters, goal-oriented, forward-moving, focused on one target at a time. Women evolved to move through the world like gatherers and nurturers, scanning constantly, perceiving everything around them, connecting meanings across layers. That's why her thoughts and emotions often loop back to things you thought were already solved. She isn't trying to reopen old wounds or start fights. She's processing. making sense of how past emotions connect to the present. In her world, closure doesn't come from logic. It comes from feeling understood. Let's make it vivid. Imagine a conversation where you said something that unintentionally hurt her. You apologized, explained your intention, and thought it was over. A week later, she brings it up again. Maybe in passing, maybe during another conflict. You feel frustrated. Why are we going over this again? But in her world, she's not repeating. She's revisiting the emotion to make sure the connection is safe again. Her memory doesn't store events in chronological order. It stores emotional impressions. So, when that old feeling resurfaces, her brain triggers the need to re-examine whether the bond is stable now. To you, it's exhausting. To her, it's survival. Because deep down, her nervous system isn't just tracking what you said. It's tracking how consistently safe you feel. Machiavelli would have advised a strategist to always study the terrain before acting. The same rule applies here. You cannot lead emotional dynamics if you're blind to how the terrain shifts beneath you. When she reopens the same issue, it's not a trap, it's data. She's giving you another chance to prove emotional consistency. This means your greatest power is not found in words, but in pattern recognition. Notice her cycles, the times she withdraws, the moments she becomes softer, the topics that spark tension. These are not random. They're the map of her inner world. And here's the paradox. The more you resist these cycles, the stronger they get. But the moment you stop fighting them, something shifts. When you remain calm as she spirals, when you let her feel her emotions fully without trying to shut them down, the spiral completes faster. It burns out, and she feels safe again. Think of her emotions like waves. Each one rises, peaks, and falls. Your job is not to stop the ocean. Your job is to be the shore. Because when a woman realizes you can handle her emotional storms without flinching, her instincts start to trust you on a biological level. That's the kind of trust no words can buy. It's not compliance, it's surrender. The natural surrender that happens when her system recognizes strength it can rest in. So remember this. When she loops back, when she feels in circles, don't react as if she's irrational. Understand that her world isn't built on logic. It's built on connection. And when you stop arguing against her nature and start mastering the rhythm of it, you no longer get lost in her storms. You become the calm that brings her back to shore, every time. Here's the third truth you must understand. A woman's attraction isn't random. It's an ancient survival mechanism. Therefore, you must stop viewing her choices through morality or emotion and start seeing them through evolutionary logic. For tens of thousands of years, a woman's survival and the survival of her children depended on one question. Can this man protect me from chaos? That question still runs quietly in the background of her psyche, even if her environment has changed. It's what psychologists call hypergamy, the instinct to bond with the most capable, stable, and resourceful man available in her environment. Now, before you jump to judgment, understand this clearly. Hypergamy isn't manipulation or greed. It's nature's insurance policy. You have your instinct to protect. She has her instinct to select. And the moment you stop fighting that truth, you start using it. Let's make it real. Think of the times you've seen a woman lose interest when a man becomes too available, too accommodating, too willing to please. He thinks he's showing love, but in her subconscious, he's signaling dependence. Her brain doesn't see generosity. It sees vulnerability. And vulnerability, in the primal mind, means instability. Now flip the scenario. Think of the man who has a clear purpose. His focus is not her approval, but his mission. He's attentive, yes, but his energy isn't scattered. He has boundaries, priorities, and vision. The more grounded he becomes in his world, the more she's drawn to him. Because her instincts sense that proximity to him equals safety, stability, and power. This is why attraction and respect cannot be bought. They're earned through consistency under pressure. A man who leads himself signals to her ancient mind, "This man can lead me through uncertainty." Machiavelli would have said, "Power must be felt, not declared." And that is exactly what her psyche is testing every time she questions your drive, your ambition, your decisions. She's not trying to destroy your confidence. She's trying to measure it. She's asking, "Can this man stay centered when I stop agreeing with him?" You pass that test not with dominance, but with certainty. Certainty in your direction. Certainty in your tone. Certainty in your silence. Here's where most men fail. They think loyalty is something she gives because she loves you. In reality, her loyalty is something she feels because she trusts your strength. If she senses your purpose fading, your discipline slipping, her instincts begin to scan for stronger energy. Not because she's cruel, but because her biology is programmed to survive. The modern world has changed, but her wiring has not. That's why men who center their life around women end up losing both their mission and their magnetism. You can't protect anyone if you've abandoned your own direction. You can't lead her emotionally if you need her validation to feel strong. So the next time she tests your drive, don't argue, don't over-explain, don't prove. Just return to your work. Your calm consistency says what words never could. "I'm the storm you can't shake." And when her brain recognizes that, when she feels the ancient safety of your unshakable energy, you no longer have to chase attraction. You become attraction. Here's the fourth truth you must understand. Emotion is not a weakness in women. It's their form of power. Therefore, you must stop taking emotional reactions personally and start reading them strategically. Let's be honest. Nothing destabilizes most men faster than female emotion. You can face a rival at work, take rejection, handle financial pressure. But the moment a woman you care about starts crying, accusing, or withdrawing, your brain short-circuits. You feel guilt, confusion, or anger. And that's not weakness, it's biology. For most of human history, men ruled through physical dominance. Women, without physical advantage, had to survive through influence, emotional leverage. Where men asserted strength through action, women learned to shift reality through feeling. A raised voice, a tear, a silence. Each became a form of control, not always conscious, but deeply instinctual. Machiavelli would have whispered, "Power is not always loud. Sometimes it cries softly." Now understand this clearly. This doesn't mean she's manipulative or cruel. It means she's using the only weapon nature gave her, emotion as social navigation. When she cries, withdraws, or blames, her subconscious isn't trying to dominate you. She's trying to restore balance, to feel safety again. Picture it. You forget a small promise, maybe a text, a date, a detail. She reacts sharply, maybe with tears or silence. You think, she's overreacting. But her instincts read it differently. She senses a disturbance in emotional stability. Your mistake isn't the act itself, it's what it represents to her. A possible loss of safety, attention, or priority. Here's the trap. When men rush to fix the emotion, apologizing excessively, chasing validation, or getting defensive, they hand over the frame. They shift from being the anchor to being the one tossed by the waves. And in that instant, she loses the very thing her instincts crave most. A man who remains unmoved. The correct move is paradoxical. You don't fight emotion with logic. You don't fix. You anchor. You feel her emotion without letting it shake you. When she cries, stay present, silent, grounded. When she blames, acknowledge the emotion, not the accusation. When she withdraws, give space with calm energy, not panic. This is emotional Aikido, using the force of emotion without resisting it. It's the rare strength of staying composed while everything around you feels unstable. And here's what happens next. Her nervous system begins to recalibrate. The chaos dissolves. Her emotions start flowing toward you instead of against you, because the female brain equates calm presence with survival. That's when she begins to trust you, not just intellectually, but biologically. Her instincts mark you as the safest point in the room. So remember this. She doesn't want you to fight her emotions. She wants to see if your strength survives them. If your calm remains when hers collapses, she stops testing and starts trusting. The battlefield isn't about dominance. It's about composure. And the man who can stay calm when emotions explode commands the deepest kind of respect, not through fear, but through presence. Here's the fifth truth you must understand. When a woman tests you, she's not betraying you. She's verifying you. Therefore, you must stop reacting with frustration or insecurity and start seeing her tests as loyalty calibrations. Every man who's been in a relationship knows this feeling. Things are calm. She's affectionate, loving, everything feels aligned. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, she questions your decisions, your effort, maybe even your ambition. You wonder, why is she creating problems when everything was good? But here's what most men never realize. She's not trying to start chaos. She's subconsciously checking if you still have your center. Her psyche runs on emotional radar. She can sense even the slightest dip in your confidence, focus, or mission. When your presence weakens, when your certainty flickers, her instincts react before her logic does. She doesn't decide to test you. Nature does it for her. Let's go deeper. In ancient times, a woman's survival depended on her ability to choose a man who could stay strong when everything collapsed. If he lost control under pressure, her safety and her children's safety were at risk. So nature hardwired her to create pressure, to see how a man responds under emotional stress. Today, the same instinct appears as subtle tension, mood swings, or emotional distance. When she withdraws affection or challenges your authority, it's her ancient programming asking, "Can you still lead when I stop following?" And this is where most men fail the test. They react emotionally, defending, explaining, or begging to be understood. But every defensive word only amplifies her doubt. Because if her emotional storm can shake your calm, her instincts mark you as unsafe. The answer is frame control. You don't meet her test with resistance. You meet it with grounded certainty. She says, "You've changed." You say, "People grow, that's a good thing." She says, "You don't care anymore." You look at her calmly and respond, "I care deeply, but I don't panic when things shift." Your stillness in these moments does more than logic ever could. Because when you stay calm, her subconscious reads one thing: strength. And strength, to the female brain, equals safety. Machiavelli would have said, "Power must be proven through pressure." And that's exactly what her tests are. Pressure designed to reveal your inner structure. The truth is, her love doesn't protect you from being tested. In fact, the more she loves you, the more she needs to test you, because her biology wants to confirm that her emotional investment is safe. So next time she challenges you, don't see rebellion, see reassurance. She's not asking if you're perfect. She's asking if you're solid. Because once she sees that nothing she says or does can break your frame, something profound happens. Her nervous system relaxes. Her emotions settle. Her loyalty deepens. That's the paradox. The more calmly you pass her tests, the fewer she gives. Because a woman only tests when she fears losing safety. Once she feels it's unshakable, she stops fighting you and starts following you. Here's the sixth and final truth you must master. Women don't fall for comfort. They fall for certainty. Therefore, you must stop trying to please her emotions and start anchoring her world through your conviction. Every man, at some point, confuses peace with attraction. He thinks, if I keep her happy, if I avoid conflict, If I give her everything she asks for, she'll stay. But the female brain doesn't crave comfort. It craves security. And emotional security doesn't come from endless agreement. It comes from the steady energy of a man who knows who he is, where he's going, and what he stands for. Let's make this real. Imagine two men. One bends himself around every emotion she has, always trying to fix, to please, to prove. He avoids tension because he fears losing her, and for a while it works. She smiles. She thanks him. But deep inside she feels something missing. There's no gravity in him, nothing for her instincts to lean on. His kindness feels soft but not safe. Now imagine another man. He listens when she speaks. He cares deeply, but he never abandons his own ground. If she's upset, he stays calm. If she pushes, he doesn't crumble. He doesn't react. He responds. And when he speaks, his words carry weight because they come from inner certainty, not the need to be liked. She might argue with him. She might resist. But underneath, she feels something powerful. Trust. Trust in his direction. Trust in his energy. Trust that when life becomes chaos, he won't disappear into confusion. This is the final code most men never learn. Your greatest strength is not in being perfect. It's in being predictable in your power. She can forgive mistakes. She can handle your flaws, but she cannot follow a man who doesn't know himself. Machiavelli would have said, "The prince must act, not react." And that's exactly what your frame must communicate. When the world shakes, you move with precision, not panic. When she doubts, you don't argue, you embody clarity. When she pulls away, you don't chase. You let her feel the echo of your presence. Certainty isn't about arrogance. It's about alignment between your values, your mission, and your emotions. It's quiet power, the kind that calms storms without needing to shout. And here's the paradox that closes everything we've explored. The more certain you are in yourself, the freer she feels around you. Because her deepest desire isn't to control you, it's to trust you. And that trust only exists when your certainty stands taller than her chaos. So remember this final truth. If you want peace with women, don't chase it. Create it within yourself. Because once your inner world becomes unshakable, her emotions no longer threaten you. They orbit you. And in that moment, you stop being the man who reacts to women and become the man they revolve around. Thank you to everyone who's been here since the beginning. If you ever want to thank me back, do it by applying every principle I share until it transforms your life. Every principle, every truth, live it, test it, embody it. When you truly understand how her mind works, you stop trying to win her and start understanding her. You stop fighting emotion and start guiding it. Because mastery isn't control, it's awareness. Machiavelli would say, "Power goes to the one who understands human nature, not the one who fights it." So learn her nature, with empathy, not pride. When you do, women won't seem like chaos anymore. They'll become your greatest source of clarity and joy. If this opened your eyes and you're serious about becoming the man who's in full control of his life, my book is now available. The Undeniable Man, Built to be Chosen. It's a strategic guide for men who want to attract, lead, and dominate in their love life and beyond. Whether you're single or in a relationship, no fluff, no tricks, just pure, powerful strategy that will set you apart from 99% of men, and that you will actually use every day. The link is in the description. And if this video spoke to you, don't just keep your thoughts in your head. Write a comment, even just a few words. It helps you remember these lessons, and it might help someone else too. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this content, and share it with someone who, in your eyes, needs it right now. Just trust your instinct. We're all trying to get clearer, more solid inside. So let's build minds that don't break.